the 2024 Rainbow Push Coalition Convention. Visit rainbowpush.org for more details. That's rainbowpush.org. Together, we can build a better tomorrow for all.
Behind the Music is back with a podcast.
Everybody hustling thinks they're better than the last guy who did it. Somehow or another, they feel like they want to stop right before it gets shot.
Download the 50 Cent episode now.
He was thinking a step ahead of everybody. When they were thinking 50 Cent, he was thinking 50 Cent, genuine at the brand.
And listen anytime, anywhere with the iHeartRadio app.
But he told me if the operator on he may not talk again. That's when I said no. He would be lost without him.
Or wherever you get your podcasts.
Stories.
The creative director of the opening ceremony has denied the scene was meant to evoke the Last Supper. The people.
Sharpton said it was Trump's way of signaling to his base that he could go to a black conference and do everything except call them the N-word. The Black Information Network. 3 prominent progressive politicians of color are facing a class action lawsuit.
News that's making a difference
every day.
The Bay Area's BIN 910 and on the iHeartRadio app.
Born in 1891 and raised in Eatonville, Florida, Zora Neale Hurston is considered by many to be one of the foremost female writers of the 20th century. In 1918, Hurston began attending Howard University, where she co-founded the student paper The Hilltop. A scholarship to Barnard College of Columbia University followed. She studied anthropology, ethnography, and played a major role in the Harlem Renaissance. In the late 1920s, she returned to the South to document the African-Caribbean culture and history. The research would inform her novels, short stories, and plays. Her critically acclaimed literary anthology Mules and Men would be released in 1935. Criticized by contemporaries for her use of dialect and what they saw as a perpetuation of stereotypes, critics would later praise her use of idiomatic speech. The enigmatic Hurston also opposed integration. Largely ignored by the mainstream literary world of her time, Zora Neale Hurston was underpaid, remaining in debt and poverty until her passing in 1960. But her work continues to influence writers around the world, and that's a fact. I'm Weston Tishome for the Black Information Network.
From news tips to general feedback, we'd like to hear from you. Call the Black Information Network hotline at 855-500-9BIN. The opinions, beliefs, and viewpoints expressed in this commentary are those of the author and do not necessarily represent those of BIN and its founding partners and employees. Now it's time to bring the funk with Roland S. Martin.
A lot of folks are commenting on
because I'm not wasting gas coming back and forth to Napa like this.
Vice President Kamala Harris and a clapback for some Gaza protesters in the audience. Now, a lot of people are only focusing on her clapback, but we were broadcasting the rally in real time on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. And people are missing what she initially said when the protest started. Listen.
I'm here because we believe in democracy. Everyone's voice matters, but I am speaking now.
But she remained patient, trying to continue her speech, yet the protesters continued. Take a listen.
So Project 2025. Look, if he is elected, Donald Trump intends to give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations. He intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis. And he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
And if you watch the video, she gave that look all black mamas have given their kids. Bottom line, folks, is she met with some folks before, some Palestinian activists before. She had a conversation. She made it clear. Keep interrupting me, I'm going to clap back. And she did. I'm Roland Martin for the Black Information Network.
Black news in 30 minutes.
The Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910.
Here's what's trending this hour. The Northeast is getting hit with heavy rains thanks to Tropical Depression Debbie. Also, the FDA is approving the first needle alternative to the EpiPen. It's the single-use nasal spray. And Wall Street closed with stocks higher. I'm Tyreek Wynn, and that's what's trending.
Sports on the Black Information Network.
A former NBA guard has officially announced his retirement. Jeremy Lamb said on social media that he is retiring from the game following a 10-year NBA career. Lamb was a major contributor to UConn's 2011 national championship team and was selected 12th overall by the Houston Rockets in the 2012 NBA draft. He was then part of the deal that sent James Harden from the Oklahoma City Thunder to Houston. Lamb went on to play 10 seasons in the league, split between the Thunder, Charlotte Hornets, Indiana Pacers, and Sacramento Kings.
Artificial intelligence may play a big role in designing the venues for the 2028 Los Angeles Summer Olympics. San Francisco software company Autodesk is under contract to design the overlays for the existing venues, including the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. The technology will ultimately save money for an Olympics that will already cost several $1 billion, less than Paris, since no new permanent structures will need it to be built.
And just when we thought the gymnastics events were over, Romania is protesting the bronze medal that Gordon Childs received for her floor routine. Team Romania is protesting the results with the International Gymnastics Federation, and a review of the floor routine will be conducted. It all comes down to fractions of a point and whether or not the gymnast stepped out of bounds.
Get your sports at 14 and 44 past each and every hour. I'm Ray Harris on the Black Information Network. From police brutality to COVID-19 to voter suppression, the NAACP is working to disrupt inequality, dismantle racism, and accelerate change in our communities. Find out how you can get involved at NAACP.org. I'm Bill Andrew Quinn with another essential black film. The origin story of Spider-Man has been told a few times at the movies, but this time, the web-slinger from the Ultimate Marvel Universe gets his turn. In the animated Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, it's the biracial Miles Morales, not Peter Parker, who gets bitten by a radioactive spider. Featuring many versions of the title hero from many Earths, the film is the best Spider-Man movie of any kind since Spider-Man 2. 2018 Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is another essential black film. I'm Bill Andrew Quinn on the Black Information Network. Make your health a priority. The National Medical Association is the collective voice of African American physicians. The NMA focuses primarily on health issues related to African Americans. Learn more at nmagnet.org.
Your news at the sound of your voice. Tell your smart device to play the Black Information Network station on iHeartRadio. Entertainment news on the Black Information Network.
Black and Chinese, man for relief. Pop it for me, please. Hands on your knees. Came up out the trees. Everything is free. Check me with the keys. Never wanna leave.
Rapper Travis Scott has been arrested in Paris one day after having a disorderly intoxication charge against him dropped in Florida. This time, the rapper was arrested after getting into a fight with his bodyguard and then with a security guard who tried to break them up at a five-star hotel in the French capital city on Friday morning. Back stateside, the 33-year-old still faces a charge of trespassing in Miami after being arrested for causing a disturbance on a charter boat at the Miami Beach Marina in June. Meanwhile, NBC reportedly plans to ask Snoop Dogg to be part of its 2026 Winter Olympics coverage. The rapper has been all over NBC's broadcast of the Paris Olympics and has been wildly popular. The Athletic says when two key NBC Universal executives were asked if there were plans to ask Snoop to return for the 2026 Milano Cortina Games, they gave affirmative answers and described Snoop as enthusiastic, adding they would be thrilled to have him back in any capacity. The Milano Cortina Olympics are set to take place in February 2026. With the latest in entertainment news at 17 and 47 minutes past each hour, I'm Morgan Wood on the Black Information Network. Born on July 14th, 1934 in Dallas, Texas, Lee Elder was one of 10 children. He would overcome the loss of both his parents at the age of 9 to break the golf color barrier and compete in the Masters. Elder started as a caddy, but 7 years after the PGA integrated in 1961, he earned his tour card and placed 40th on the money list his rookie year. With a win in 1974, he gained entry to the Masters, and while African Americans had previously qualified, Elder would be the first to play due to Augusta National's refusal to invite non-whites, including Charlie Sifford, a Two-time
tattoo,
tour winner,
that's
Lee Elder was also the first black man on the United States Ryder Cup team, helping secure the win over Europe in 1979. He would set up a scholarship fund, speak out against apartheid, and protest clubs that were still excluding black golfers in 1990. Passing on Sunday, November 28, 2021, at the age of 87. Lee Elder's contributions to golf and the black community are monumental, and that's a fact. I'm Christy James on the Black Information Network. Black news from black journalists.
The Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910. I'm Mimi Brown in Danbury Wood on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
President Biden says he does not have faith that a peaceful transfer of power will take place if former President Trump loses the election.
Trump loses, I'm not coming. He means what he says. We don't take him seriously. He means it. All the stuff about if we lose, there'll be a bloodbath.
Biden made the remarks in an interview with CBS News set to air in full on CBS Sunday morning. Trump made the remarks in March while talking about economic policies, saying in the following months that he would accept the results of the election if it were fair, legal, and a good election.
As the 2024 presidential race heats up, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are promoting contrasting campaign slogans. Trump continues with his Make America Great Again message, appealing to those who feel the nation's best days are behind it. And Vice President Harris introduced the slogan, Not Going Back, focused on a progressive vision for the future. At a Philadelphia rally where she announced Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate, Harris stressed the importance of protecting rights like abortion access, declaring, quote, we're not going back. While Trump criticizes the Biden administration's handling of issues like immigration, Harris argues that real progress means not returning to Trump's policies. And streaming star Kai Cenat is frustrated after claiming the Secret Service is contacting him about a potential collaboration with Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign. However, sources say no one from Harris's team has reached out to him, and there's been no discussion of an interview. According to TMZ, the Secret Service's interest may be linked to Kai's talks with a group tied to the DNC convention, but Harris's campaign isn't involved. Cenat insists he's not interested in politics.
And in Mississippi, the Jackson City Council tried to speed up the adoption of new ward lines this week, but Ward 5 council member Vernon Hartley blocked the move, citing a lack of public input. He criticized the rush process and the new map, which doesn't expand his ward into downtown Jackson, but instead adds area with ongoing issues like crime. The council's efforts to suspend the rules failed, so the redistricting will be revisited at the next meeting on August 13th. And U.S. star Grant Holloway secured the Olympic crown in the men's 110-meter hurdles while earning his first gold medal. Holloway finished in 12.99 seconds.
It's all a dream. You know, I remember sitting in my living room 2012 watching Aries Barrett win an Olympic gold medal in London. You know, hopefully I can be that inspiration for somebody who's watching it in their living room.
And it was a 1-2 podium for the U.S., with Daniel Roberts taking the silver in a photo finish with Jamaica's Rashid Broadbell. For more news impacting the black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at Black Information Network, and on X at BlackInfoNet. I'm Mimi Brown, along with Bree Wood, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Time now for another good health tip. Remember to stay connected with your loved ones. Social connections are important for your mental health, so make time to connect with friends and family. A message from your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
When trust matters, count on BIN.
The Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910. Your money on the Black Information Network.
Did you know there are lots of ways to save money on your car insurance? First and foremost, if you are in the market for a new or used car, shop around for insurance before you buy. That's because insurance companies are evaluating the risk. That includes your credit, driving history, and how much it will cost the insurance company to repair or replace your vehicle. The higher the risk, the
the more you will pay every month for insurance. The second thing you can do is raise your deductible. The higher your deductible, the lower your monthly premiums will be. Just remember, if you do have an accident, your deductible will have to be paid before the insurance company pays their part of the claim. And number 3, if you have 2 separate policies for your homeowners and car insurance, ask your insurance company about bundling the 2 together. Number 4, set up an automatic payment. By doing so, you can save an average of $5 a month. And finally, pay in full. On average, that will save you about 20%. Money news at 24 and 54 minutes past each hour. I'm Nicole Beal on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Get Black business news every 30 minutes
On the Black Information Network. The Bay Area's BIN 910. I'm Bree Wood.
And I'm Mimi Brown on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
The United Negro College Fund and 6 historically black colleges and universities have signed a historic agreement to launch HBCUV, a digital learning and community engagement platform. According to the Middle East North Africa Financial Network, this initiative seeks to enhance educational experiences by combining cutting-edge digital tools tailored for HBCU students. The platform was unveiled at the Unite 2024 Summit and promises to encourage collaboration and success among students, faculty, and staff.
Donald Trump says he has agreed to 3 debates in September against Vice President Kamala Harris. At a press conference from his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida, Trump said the debates would be on Fox News, ABC, and NBC.
But I look forward to the debates because I think we have to set the record straight. Why is it that millions of people were allowed to come into our country from prisons, from jails, from mental institutions, insane asylums?
So far, the vice president has agreed to the September 10th debate on ABC. And Greenville, Louisiana is abandoning its plan to build an $800 million grain export facility in the historic black town of Wallace in St. John the Baptist Parish. The company made the announcement on Tuesday, blaming the cancellation of the Wallace Grain Export Facility on continuous permitting delays by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. VOA News reports the decision comes after years of opposition from residents and activists who argued the project would harm cultural heritage sites and worsen pollution in the area known as Cancer Alley.
And Seattle's Ezel's Famous Chicken, founded in 1984, has expanded to its 18th location after receiving a major boost from Oprah Winfrey's endorsement. Known for its Louisiana-style fried chicken, the restaurant gained fame when Oprah praised it back in 1989, leading to a surge in popularity. The latest branch opens in Kirkland, Washington, continuing the legacy of black founders Louis Rudd, Ezel Stevens, and Faye Rudd. The family-owned chain now stretches from Seattle to Spokane and parts of Oregon. I'm Bree Wood, along with Mimi Brown, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. Your Washington Roundup is next.
The Biden administration is continuing its push for a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas amid rising tensions in the Middle East. In an interview with ABC's This Week, White House Deputy National Security Advisor John Feiner said a ceasefire in Gaza is priority number 1 in the conflict. He said a ceasefire and hostage deal would be the best outcome for both the Israelis and Palestinians. Now this, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is speaking out against the prisoner exchange between the United States and Russia negotiated recently. In an interview with Fox News Sunday, Graham claimed the deal absolutely helps Russian President Vladimir Putin. He argued the swap encourages U.S. adversaries to arrest Americans. The prisoner swap freed multiple Americans held in Russian captivity, including Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and former Marine Paul Whelan. And that's your Washington Roundup. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
The Bay Area's BIN 910 is powered in partnership with Direct Relief and Chevy. Thank you for partnering with a purpose on the Black Information Network.
Born on July 14, 1934 in Dallas, Texas, Lee Elder was one of 10 children. He would overcome the loss of both his parents at the age of 9 to break the golf color barrier and compete in the Masters. Elder started as a caddy, but 7 years after the PGA integrated in 1961, he earned his tour card and placed 40th on the money finally lift his rookie year. With a win in 1974, he gained entry to the Masters. And while African Americans had previously qualified, Elder would be the first to play due to Augusta National's refusal to invite non-whites, including Charlie Sifford, a two-time tour winner. Lee Elder was also the first black man on the United States Ryder Cup team, helping secure the win over Europe in 1979. He would set up a scholarship fund, speak out against apartheid, and protest clubs that were still excluding black golfers in 1990. Passing on Sunday, November 28, 2021, at the age of 87. Lee Elder's contributions to golf and the black community are monumental. And that's a fact. I'm Christy James on the Black Information Network.
I'm Tyreek Wayne. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. This week marks the 10th anniversary of the death of Michael Brown, who is black in Ferguson. The 18-year-old was killed by former Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson, setting off days and nights of protests and riots in Ferguson and the metro area. The Illinois sheriff who employed the former deputy accused of fatally shooting Sonia Massey, who is black, will be retiring later this month. In a statement Friday, Sheriff Jack Campbell said, quote, "As elected officials, we must always put the overall good of the community above ourselves," end quote. Kamala Harris, who is black, and her running mate Tim Walz were on the campaign trail in Arizona. The pair spoke at a rally on Friday where Harris told supporters there's a lot on the line in this year's election, saying, quote, "When we fight, we win," end quote. She also told her supporters she's not scared to go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wade on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
I'm Andrea Coleman in for Terry McCready.
And I'm Kevin Brown on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Donald Trump is questioning Vice President Kamala Harris' sudden rise as the Democratic presidential nominee.
And because of political reasons or because of being politically correct, even though she never received a vote. Don't forget, she was the first one defeated.
Trump made the remarks at a press event from his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida. The former president also said it was not a sure thing that Biden was going to lose. This was Trump's first public appearance since Harris became the nominee and selected Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate.
The White House is condemning remarks by Congresswoman Cori Bush about going after a pro-Israel lobbying group. White House spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre says President Biden finds the comments to be off-putting.
It is important that we be very mindful of what we say. This kind of rhetoric is inflammatory and divisive and incredibly unhelpful. We're going to continue to condemn any type of political rhetoric in that way.
Bush vowed to go after the American-Israel Public Affairs Committee, known as AIPAC, after she lost the Democratic primary in her bid for re-election. The Super PAC was a major funder of Bush's opponent, St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell.
Television host Montel Williams is defending Governor Tim Walz's comments about his military service. This after Republican vice presidential nominee Congressman J.D. Vance questioned Walz's claims of serving in a combat zone. Here's what Williams, who is a military veteran,
Oh no, they're doing a sideshow here in fucking Napa. Yeah, I heard that.
To the practice range to qualify.
I hate when they do that. Waste of time, puts everybody's lives in danger, including their own.
Retirement in 2005 when he left the National Guard to run for Congress. Walz served 24 years in the military. For that, Williams says he should simply be thanked, not questioned, for his service.
A new report proposes asking Latinos how they are perceived on the street to better understand their ethnic experience in America. The Latino Policy and Politics Institute at UCLA says the experience of people who identify as Latino and Hispanic can vary by the perception people make of them based on their physical features. This coincides with findings by the Pew Research Center that shows Latinos who look black or Asian report being subjected to more racist treatment than Latinos who look white. Researchers suggest the government include a question about what they call street race on census forms to better capture these differences.
A Nigerian-American athlete with dual citizenship in both countries is celebrating a long-desired Olympic victory. Annette Echekun-Woke tried to compete on Nigeria's women's hammer throw team in 2020, but wasn't able to due to an oversight by the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. Now, as a U.S. competitor, she has clinched the coveted silver medal in the competition. Congratulations to her. For more news impacting the black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com. I'm Andrea Coleman, along with Kevin Brown, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
franchise Wonder Woman features the story of a beautiful Amazon superhero warrior.
That's a cool shirt. I like that. That's a really cool
Did you know there was
shirt.
also a black Wonder Woman as well? Created by writer Don Heck, her name was Nubia, and she made her comic book debut in 1973 as DC Comics' first black superhero. Similar to Wonder Woman, Nubia has super strength, magical weaponry, and comes from a floating island